Welcome everyone to today's info session with our sponsor, Orange Commercial Credit. Today's topic is helping owner-operators and carriers solve cash flow problems with invoice factoring. And the presenter today is Bob Dilliplaine, who has more than 20 years of experience in the field. So everybody knows, this info session is going to be focused on the benefits of freight bill factoring and how you can get started. Please feel free to ask any questions or provide comments during this live stream. We're going to have a Q&A portion after the presentation to address them. And for those that prefer to send their comments via email, you can email me at carla@harbortrucker.com or eric@harbortrucker.com. If for any reason we don't get to your question during this live stream, we will make sure we answer those offline. And Bob, welcome. Thank you for being here today. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, Carla.
We love to have you here. And without further ado, please take it away.
Excellent. I appreciate the opportunity to present tonight, and welcome everybody. Welcome to our presentation on factoring. I'd like to start by explaining what factoring is. A lot of people have heard the term, but maybe aren't clear on what it is. Factoring is a form of quick pay, where a business owner sells their invoice to a factoring company for immediate cash. And this can work in any industry. It's not just transportation, but many of the examples, for obvious reasons tonight, that I'll be giving are within the transportation industry. And when the transportation company sells the invoice to the factor, they usually discount, the invoice is discounted at 1 to 3%, depending on the company you're working with. But again, you get the money immediately within 24 hours into your account. And I have a little diagram here to demonstrate how the cycle works. First of all, in this example, the trucking company would deliver the freight, and upon delivering, would take the bills of lading, all the other backup along with their invoice, and forward it to Orange Commercial Credit. That's done by uploading it to our server. Once Orange Commercial Credit gets the paperwork and reviews it, they forward the money, step 3, to the bank. Your bank now has the money, which is in your account, and Orange Commercial at that point forwards the paperwork onto your customer, which is step 4, and your customer then 30 or 60 days later sends payment directly to Orange Commercial Credit, and the cycle is complete. We allow our clients to factor whenever it's convenient for them. Some of our larger clients factor every day. Some of our smaller ones once a week or every other week. So again, it's entirely up to you. But that's the process of how factoring works. Next, I'd like to get into a little bit about Orange Commercial Credit, the company I work for. Orange Commercial was established in 1979. That's when we opened our doors in Anaheim, California. Currently, we have over 600 active clients and about 60 employees. I would say of those 60 employees, about a quarter of them have 12 plus years experience. I have 25 years with Orange Commercial Credit, and my role is business development, basically explaining how factoring works, helping the prospect gather the paperwork that's required to get them approved, and then making sure they understand what's required of them as far as paperwork and how we need it sent to us before I hand them over to an administrative assistant that would help them. And at the point I hand them over, again, as I mentioned earlier, a lot of our clients or a lot of our employees are longstanding employees. And I would think that's a benefit to you guys. You know how frustrating it is when you deal with somebody that's helping you on your account, or you're dealing with a relationship and there's a lot of turnover and you have to explain they don't know your account. You don't have that with Orange Commercial Credit. They know your account, and we've all been here for a long time. The last thing I wanted to say is when I turn you over to an administrator to help you, I don't disappear. A lot of salespeople do. I've been here 25 years. I'm always available to my clients. They can call me weekends, nights, whenever they want. And because I'm always available to them, I get a ton of client referrals. They like the way we treat them, the professionalism, the cash flow, everything else we do for them. So they're willing to send us their friends and family when they need a factoring company. The next thing I'd like to get into is some of the benefits of factoring. Obviously, the number one is immediate cash flow. You have your money within 24 hours, so it alleviates a lot of stress. You don't have to worry Thursday night if that check's going to arrive Friday for payroll or for insurance or for some breakdowns. You have the money within 24 hours of submitting it to the factoring company. You also have your factoring company doing credit analysis for you. This is 24/7. You can log on and type in the company name, MC number, any information, and it'll pull up a report so you can see if they're approved or not. You can also view your account 24/7 online when you're factoring. And most factors do free collection calls. Some do a little better job than others, which I'll get into later. And you also always have, you have an expert team behind you when you're factoring. As in the case of Orange Commercial, you have people that have 15, 20, 25 years experience in the industry. They've seen it all. They can help you pretty much with any situation you're going to encounter and help you navigate how to get out of it. Next, I'd like to talk about why, if you are thinking about factoring, Orange Commercial might make the most sense. We've been doing this since 1979. We got our start down in the ports of Long Beach. We've been doing trucking since day one. We know the customers, we know the process, we know the terminology, we know the paperwork that's required. We know who's going to pay you in 60 days, who's going to pay you in 90 days. The paperwork, if you don't submit the proper paperwork, you're not going to get paid. And if you don't submit it through the proper channel, whether that's email, mail, whatever it is, everybody has the way that they like to receive it. We know this and we share this with our clients. Another benefit of factoring with Orange Commercial over some of the other guys is we have no monthly minimum requirements. Some factors require that you do a certain amount or you get penalized. Some factors also require you sign a year-long contract. We'll do a 90-day contract so you can kind of get a taste for it, see if you like it. If you do, it just continues. If not, you're free to walk away. And we have no setup fees with our program. We also allow you to pick and choose the customers that you factor. Some factors will make you give them everything. So if you have some customers that are paying you in 7 or 10 days, it makes no sense to factor that. But some of these factoring companies will require that you give them all your clients. One of the biggest benefits of factoring with Orange Commercial is that we do full advances. So you get 99, 98% of your money up front. There's nothing held in reserve. Some factors will hold a small amount, 5, 10% in a reserve in case there's any disputes or claims. And when they refund that back to you, it can present an accounting nightmare. I get countless phone calls from people saying, I don't even know if I'm getting my money back. I don't understand the program. With us, it's a flat fee. It's very simple to understand. And we follow up on collections for you guys. I mentioned that earlier. Some factors do a better job than others. We stay on top of it. At 30 days, we'll reach out and just say, hey, I want to make sure you have this invoice. When can I expect a check on that? If you have a check number, I'll keep an eye out for it. If you wait to day 75 or 90 to call on it, it's a lot harder to track it, a lot harder to get paid. It could be as simple as they're missing some paperwork. They had a question on something. And, we'll take care of it. If we have it, we'll get it to them right away to get the process rolling, or we'll get you involved to help us as well. And the last major reason why you'd want to consider starting with Orange Commercial if you're going to try factoring is we're an HTA member and a platinum sponsor, and we have a special program, special rate just for HTA members. It's between 1% and 2%. And I've been doing this for 25 years. It's one of the best programs I've ever been part of. So I'm excited to offer it to you guys. And I'd like to next get into how you'd get started with us if you do decide that you want to move forward with factoring. We start with an application, and you can see a diagram I have here. The application we send you, it's online, takes about 10 to 15 minutes to fill out. Along with that, we ask you to send us a copy of your driver's license, a sample invoice, articles of incorporation, and your insurance certificate. Once we get that back in-house, we process it, and we go to step 2. With the credits reviewed, and if you're approved preliminarily, we will issue a proposal with details of the rate and program that you qualify for. You'll sign the proposal and send it back to me, which is step 4. And then my office will do a final review, finish up the application. And if everything looks good, they'll prepare the documents, send it to you via DocuSign. You'll sign off on them, and it's returned to us automatically, and your account's set up. At that point, you're ready to roll. You can start uploading invoicing to us, and we can get you factoring. The last thing I want to say here before we open up for questions is there's hundreds of factors out there. But again, Orange Commercial Credit has 40 plus years. There's not too many factors that can say that. We've been in trucking since day one. There's a lot of factors that do a lot of different things. They know a little bit about trucking, but not like we do. And we have the service, the experience, the back office, the people behind you that are going to partner with you to help you grow. So if you've ever considered factoring, you have any questions, maybe you're factoring now and you're not happy, please reach out to me, email me, call me. I'd be happy to talk to you about it. or even at a future HTA event. I'll be at a lot of them. Please come over and introduce yourself. I look forward to meeting everybody and getting to know everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bob. Yeah, we're going to move on with questions. I am going to get Eric here. Hi, Eric.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Mathis. I'm with the HTA. This is an open floor, so if you have any questions, feel free to submit them in the chat, or you, like Carla said earlier, shoot either Carla or myself an email, eric@harbortrucker.com. So we had a couple questions to kind of get us kicked off. A lot of these smaller companies used to drive for larger companies, and they handled all the invoicing process and stuff. You touched upon like some of the help you give guys on the invoicing process. Can you go into a little bit more detail on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty much every company has a policy on what paperwork they require to pay the carrier or the owner operator. And if you're missing anything, it could delay the whole process. Some just want proof of delivery. Some want the whole stack. Some want it emailed, EDI. Some want it regular mail. And again, we have the people in our office that have been doing this for 20 years. They know each customer, what they require and how they want it done. So we can advise our clients in advance, this is what needs to be done this way so that it flows properly through the payables and gets paid in a timely manner.
Kind of in that same vein about some of that prep work that you kind of do for the carriers. In some of your decisions on what you're going to choose to factor or not, can you touch on like some of the credit relations you have with those ultimate customers for the guys? Like how can you help them avoid perhaps bad customers or give a little bit more insight on that process?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think my office does a great job of this. First of all, having 40 years of experience in the industry, I mean, we know most of the players, right? We've dealt with them. We've got hundreds of clients. And some of these clients are dealing with hundreds of different companies as well. So we're exposed to them firsthand. And we also use several different credit agencies so we can evaluate them, follow trends, because some company could look good one day, but all of a sudden, something happens over the weekend where they start going the opposite way. And we analyze and follow the trends. So if we're seeing over a period of weeks or a month or two where they went from a 35, 37-day pay to a 48, and now the following month, 58 or 60, we're going to keep an eye on that. And we're going to warn you rather than, running up a large balance with them and all of a sudden finding out that they're going to start paying in 75 days or they're closing their doors because there's other issues. So
got it. On the kind of the credit worthiness thread of questioning, is there a minimum kind of credit requirement that you have for a company that chooses to factor with you?
Are you saying about a client of ours? Is there a minimum that we require?
Yeah.
Not at all. We'll work with a startup owner operator generating the first invoice. Yeah, we have no problem doing that.
If I'm an owner operator or a micro fleet, I have 2 trucks and my girlfriend does the books. How's that gonna, if I choose to factor, does that affect me in the long run in the terms of, is it going to affect my credit score, my business credit worthiness?
If it does, I would think it would be in a positive way because you're factoring, you're going to have cash faster. You're going to have it immediately. So you're going to be able to pay your bills faster. And I think if anything, it's going to help you establish better credit rather than being late and delinquent maybe in the past because you didn't have the money and you had to juggle it and figure out who's going to wait and who I can pay this week or who I'm going to pay next month. You really shouldn't have to worry about that anymore.
Got it. I think you might have touched upon this during the setup process, but how do you get paid for an invoice? So if I factor with you, you've given me the cash. Can you tell us what you do from there and how, as a trucker, I'm still involved in the process?
Yeah. So one thing I should have said earlier when I was walking through the process, that whole application to funding stage can be done in 3 to 5 days. It's not a very lengthy process. So that as far as getting it set up, it's pretty quick. And then once you're set up, again, I would walk you through the process of you scan all your paperwork into one PDF file and you upload it to our server. And you have two options at that point. You can get a wire transfer where the funds are deposited in your account within hours, or you can do the ACH option where it appears the following morning in your bank account when the bank opens.
Got it. Do you have, when you talked about the articles of incorporation, some of the guys in the TAP are LLC, some of them go S Corp route. Is there a preferred method for you guys? Are you guys, incorporation agnostic, I guess would be a way to put it?
We're good with any of them, even a DBA, sole proprietorship. We're fine with that as well.
Who's your typical client? I guess that might be a hard one to answer, but who would be like a good candidate for you guys?
Yeah, so I would say someone running maybe 3 to 5 trucks. I mean, that's the majority of our business, the small carriers with 3 to 5 trucks. We do have some carriers that are running 80, 90 trucks, close to 100. But our bread and butter are the smaller guys that make up the majority of our portfolio. We've got a lot of one-off owner-operators and a lot of 2, 3, 5 truck fleets as well.
Got it.
And there's been some great success stories. I mean, multiple people over the years that have started with 2 trucks and have grown to 25 or 30 trucks over the years with us. So,
can you talk a little bit more about? I guess the way to word this would be, if I am a small company, I might not have all the, I might just be using an Excel spreadsheet, or I might just do everything by hand and email. How much support OCC provides in that department? I guess kind of like if we're outsourcing some portion of our business to you.
Can you rephrase that question? I'm not sure I understand exactly.
Like, if you're used to just doing like personal bookkeeping for your own finances and stuff, and you're kind of moving into this, new realm, you're going into business for yourself. There's a lot of, we might not know what double-ended bookkeeping is or something like that. You know what I mean? So can you let us know a little bit about some of the additional support and information that you have available to folks that want to factor with you?
Well, they are able to view their account online 24/7. So there's some reports they'll be able to pull there as far as what invoices are delinquent, or if what companies might have paid this week, so they can keep an eye on it. But as far as accounting and for tax purposes, I would recommend they use like a software like QuickBooks. We really don't do that aspect for them, and we help them manage the account. But as far as for their bookkeeping purposes, it'd be whatever they see fit or whatever works best for them. And I do have some people that just, handwritten logs and ledgers, and they still resort to that.
Got it. Does your application cost money?
Not at all. Some factors will charge you anywhere from $250 to $500 to process the application, because that is the cost that goes into it. But we do not charge that. It's free to get set up with us.
Got it. I think we've covered most of the questions. I'll kind of leave it open to the floor for a little bit. Feel free to submit any questions you have, and if you're shy now, don't worry about it. You can send an email to Carl or I, and we'll pass you on to Bob. Or I think we're putting up Bob's contact information up right now. Outside of that, we'll kind of give folks a minute to submit any more questions. But Bob, can you tell us a little bit about yourself? How you got started in how you got affiliated with trucking. You don't drive a truck, but you're essentially a part of the trucking industry.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we do factor all industries, but trucking is our number one industry. And I would say, 95% of the clients I bring on board are in the transportation industry. And within my industry, I have friends that work for competitors that just don't know trucking. So when they come across a deal, they know me as the trucking guy, and they send them my way. And I just basically learned it. I've been here 25 years. Didn't know a whole lot about trucking or factoring when I started, honestly. And learned over the years, just going out, meeting with different truckers, learning what their needs were. And it's been a fun ride. And I've got some great success stories, again, of people that have just started with 1 or 2 trucks and have grown. And some of my clients have been with me 10 plus years, so they really appreciate what we do for them.
Great. All right. Well, I think I'll cede the floor back to Carla.
All right. Well, it seems like we don't have any more questions. So thank you everyone for joining today's live stream. And thank you, Bob, again, for providing this valuable information. I still have Bob's contact information on screen. Phone number 714-345-9654. And his email is bob@occfactor.com. I also want to take the chance to let you all know that you can find Orange Commercial Credit within our TAP program and enjoy special member pricing. So if you're not a member of the Trucker Advantage program yet, you can join today at www.harbortrucker.com. And the membership is for free. All you have to do is just create an account. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great evening and see you again soon.
Thanks again. Take care.
Bye.